There's a hidden enemy that's killing your team's productivity. It'll create poor decision making, reduce creativity, and it has nothing to do with your skills, processes, or tools. It has everything to do with bias. And bias affects everything. From how we process information and make decisions to how we navigate uncertainty and solve problems as a team. In this video, we'll explore the impact of bias and share tips and strategies on how you can build a more bias-free culture on your team. We're going to look at 3 biases and better understand what they are, where they come from, how they impact your team, and one tool that you can use from the design world to help overcome this bias. Hey friends, if you're new here, my name is Jake, and on this channel I share tools and techniques from the design and innovation world that you can use for better team collaboration, creative problem solving, and navigating uncertainty in the tech and startup world. Let's get started. Bias number 1 is groupthink. This bias occurs when team members prioritize conformity over independent thinking. It happens because people tend to be agreeable. You may have some junior or new members on your team, and we are more scared of messing up the group dynamics than actually speaking our own mind. And it impacts your team in a variety of ways, from poor decision making to a lack of critical thinking, and it can really hurt your team's trust building over time. One strategy that you can use to help combat groupthink is called the 6 thinking hats. The 6 thinking hats is a technique developed for group discussion and brainstorming around a central problem or idea. It can help your team encourage more diverse thinking, combat groupthink by introducing new perspectives, and build trust through collaborative conversation. Here's how it works. There are 6 different hat colors representing different perspectives. There's the white, which is the rational hat. This person focuses on the facts and data. There's the red, which is the emotional hat. This person expresses emotions, intuitions, and gut feelings. There's the yellow, which is the positive hat. This person focuses on benefits and opportunities. There's the black, which is the negative hat. And this person focuses on risks and challenges. There's the green, which is the creative hat. This person focuses on creative ideas and possibilities. And there's blue, which is the process hat. This person focuses on the process and ways of working on the team. The idea is that you can assign each hat to a team member during meetings, brainstorming sessions, or retrospectives in order to hear a variety of perspectives, which can encourage strong team discussion instead of defaulting to just being agreeable. Over time, they'll be a little bit more comfortable taking on new and different perspectives on their own. And once they see that a more diverse discussion leads to higher impact, they will start to utilize this technique without having to use the tool at all. Bias number 2 is called affinity bias. This bias occurs when team members favor people and opinions that are a bit more similar to their own. And this happens because we're human beings and we are comfortable with what's familiar to us. It's typically unconscious and we likely don't realize it's happening. But it can have a major impact on our team. It can limit the diversity amongst the team's perspective. It can create social splits within the team if people are navigating towards one side or the other. And it can affect your employee well-being over time. One strategy that you can use to combat affinity bias is called empathy mapping. Empathy mapping is a tool used in user research to gain a deep understanding of someone's perspectives, needs, and motivations. It involves creating a visual representation that captures what people feel, think, say, and do. It can help your team uncover new perspectives, needs, and motivations, better adapt to differences in working styles and preferences, and understand different communication styles to create a psychologically safe environment. Here's how it works. Let's say you're on a cross-functional team and you want to improve your collaboration across time zones. You can create an empathy map together to better understand what your team thinks about remote collaboration and how it affects your work, feels when they are working across various time zones, what they say they do to improve collaboration, and what actually ends up happening. And although people will always be drawn to what is familiar, empathy mapping may help you combat affinity bias in a little bit more conscious way. And the 3rd bias is called the blind spot bias. This bias refers to the tendency to recognize biases in others, but not in ourselves. We tend to think if we are aware of something, especially if we see it in others, then we surely aren't exhibiting it ourselves. But this can have a huge impact on your team, like building a lack of self-awareness amongst your teammates. It also may hinder effective collaboration if people are seeing negativity in others but not necessarily accepting it in themselves. And like affinity bias, it can create a bit of a polarization on your team. One tool that you can use to help overcome the blind spot bias is called the diary study. A diary study is a research method that involves asking participants to keep a diary of their experiences over a set period of time.
It can help your team uncover themes and insights across their day-to-day work, simplify processes and ways of working, and become more productive in their personal time. Here's how it works. You can set a testing period, let's say a week, and each day take a few minutes to write down all the things that you did that day, whether they were meetings, tasks, or projects. Next to your journal entries, you can note down what you were trying to accomplish, whether it's alignment, problem solving, or just general communication. Finally, you'll reflect on how impactful that work really was to you and your team. The more entries you log, the more you'll be able to spot patterns and themes over time. Maybe you find that you spend 80% of your time trying to solve problems or communicate status updates, and that could be a signal to your team that you should try to improve this area.
Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video and you want to try out these tools and techniques, there's links to all of them in the video description down below. I'll see you in the next video.